What is going on? I hope everybody's having a great Saturday evening. Good to be here. Good to see you. If you have not, please click the like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It's more than appreciated. As you come in, I'd love to see where you're from. I saw earlier, and Brent, thank you so much for becoming a member. I believe you were a member before, but thank you for sticking with. And if not, thank you for joining. I appreciate that very much. The Uprising says, hello from Crescent City. That's just up the road a piece. That is my neck of the woods, state of Jefferson. Hello. How are ya? Good to be here. Good to see you guys. I know. Richmond, Virginia. East Tennessee in the house. Always good. Always good to see the folks from the great state of Tennessee. And let's see. Florida. Good to Florida in the house. Florida man in the house. Oh, okay. Oklahoma. That's where my Gammy's from. Idaho. Love potatoes. I've always loved potatoes. They're really good. They're very versatile. It's a very versatile food. Pennsylvania. Ohio. The Buckeye State. Kentucky. Let's see here. Kentucky. Let's do it this way. All right. North Jersey, home of Tony Soprano. I wouldn't call that place boring. I'd call it the opposite of that. How could I ever forget Texas? Ever. Anybody seen William? Has anybody seen William? Where you at, William? You're here somewhere. I know it. You loved this channel at one time. Can't find William. Oh, well. That's okay. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if any of you guys do the pickup, the like grocery pickup. Like you can order your groceries from Target on your phone. You don't even have to like go in the store anymore. And they'll bring it out to you. And, you know, it's just a whole very like, it's just a really like cool little feature that they offer. And I love it. You know, so I use it quite frequently. And the one it's so crazy because a lot of Jamie, a lot of places do it. It's an awesome feature. And you just pull up and they put your groceries in the trunk. You show them a code. Now, this is what's funny. So I'm out today doing something. I have groceries on order. They say it takes 2 hours for this to happen. That's fine with me. 2 hours is fine. So I'm out. I'm doing something else. And I keep checking. It hasn't been quite like 2 hours yet. And I'm really, I'm hoping while I'm out, that way I don't have to go back home and wait. So you know what I do? It's close to 2 hours and they're usually pretty good. They're like usually on time with it. And so what I do is I just, I say, what? Screw it. I'm headed straight to Target and I'll just wait because I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. And Cindy says, I I would say money if I did that, but nope. I want to see selection. Well, you can browse on your phone. But anyway, the you know how they say like robots are going to take over the world one day, and I kind of feel nobody cares about Indiana. You ever seen the movie Hoosiers? I certainly have. I care about Indiana. God bless it. Okay, so they say robots are going to take over the world, and this is the craziest thing, man. So what they want you to do is they want you to tell you when you're on the way. They're like, when you're on your way, let us know. This mic stand sucks. Oh my God. Seriously? I hate this mic stand. Like, I hate it. And I just hate it. It's stiff as a board. You can't really move it that much. And then to move it, you feel like you're moving a barbell. All right. I'm going to get back to that later, and I'll deal with you when we're done. Now the passive aggressiveness that I received from the AI that is Target, which it was so weird. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of waiting around. I'm waiting. It's not quite ready yet. They send me a notification on my phone when it's ready. Finally, I get the alert. It's ready. Okay. And they want you to say, okay, I'm on my way. And then tell us when you're here, what spot you parked in. Let us know what place you parked in. So, we can bring it out to you. And do you want it in the trunk? Do you want it in the back seat? Do you want me to hand it to you? Da, 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 da. So I'm already there. And so I say, I'm on my way. So I hit, I'm on my way. And then I say, right after that, I go, I'm here. Bam, bam. I'm in parking lot 6 or parking space 6. Okay. And what pops up on my screen, it says, wow, you got here fast. For future reference, please give us a bit more heads up when you're on your way. And I'm like, huh? I'm getting chewed out by my phone app. Oh, wow, you got here fast. So yeah, I did get here fast because I've been waiting. So not only do I get there fast, then they send me a message that says, this is our peak hours. Sorry for the wait. Because then I had to wait like 10, 15 minutes. I could have went in and did the whole shopping thing and everything. Whoa, you got here so fast. And I'm like, dude, that's kind of like rude. That's rude. I know I got here fast. I was in the parking lot waiting because I didn't want to go home. Well, you got here fast. That's right. I did. I got here real fast. So next time, will you please let us know, give us a little more heads up. What does it matter how much time I give you? You're going to take the same amount of time to bring it out. What happens if I get pulled over on the way there? Are they going to send me a message and go, hey, where you at? No, they're not. They're not. They don't come out any faster whether you give them time or not. I wait the same amount of time. Well, actually, they come out slower if you don't give them any time, but they still come out relatively slow. I don't know, man. It's just weird. This is how, let me see, what does it say? I'd hate to see what they say if I was late. Yeah, me too. Andrew says, this is how William knew you have no life. I'm not sure. I don't quite get that. Well, I'm picking up groceries. What does that mean? What does that mean, Andrew? Are you a new William? We got another William in the house. I get mine delivered to my house. I can't go out anymore due to disability. It's so nice for me. Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic stuff. Wait till the police go robo. That should be exciting. How nice will they be? Wow. Can you imagine getting tased by a robot? I have a feeling that will happen at some point. We all have to eat. Walmart will bring the groceries right to your door for a few bucks. Worth it. Yeah, I mean, look, it is a cool thing. That service, the one thing, yes, True Crime Nut says the one thing that does drive me nuts about it is they fulfill your entire order, but then they tell you like exactly what they didn't have in stock, even though they say they have it in stock. The whole thing, it's a good service, but like if you're making hamburgers for dinner and you order all the stuff for hamburgers and then they say you wait 2 hours and then they call you or they message you and say, hey, your order's ready. Sorry, we're out of hamburger meat. That's another 2 hours. So then you got to go in the store. So forgive me if I didn't give you enough time today, Target. I got a problem with your passive aggressiveness and it drives me nuts. But I like the service. I just don't like being told that I got there too fast by a robot. I know I got there fast. That was the whole point. I was ready to go. Yeah, here we go. Right here. Birdie says, hate it when they're out of stock. Something they don't send you anything and tell you. I know. They don't even substitute. They don't even substitute it. It sucks. Oh, man. Well, anyway, welcome to the show. That's a nice how you doing. Good to see you. Good to be here. I, like you, have been following the Dylan Rounds case. I would say relatively close. I mean, there's been so much hoopla around the case that I kind of zoned out of it for a while because it didn't seem, and by the way, it seems like all of that, whatever was going on or is going on or what has died down a little bit. I don't know. Whatever has happened that way seems maybe, hopefully it's died down a bit, but you know, it's with every new development and with every new interview, it sparks rack up and then it doesn't again. And then it sparks back up and then it doesn't again. And then blah, 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 and on and on and on and on and on we go. Well, what is telling and significant, in my opinion, is the interview that the parents gave. They absolutely had a scathing takedown of Box Elder. And we're going to listen to that interview. It's like 20 minutes. I'm sure some of you, if not most of you, have heard it. I spoke with Candace today. I told her, you know, that I was going to do this, and she said, please do. You know, they're desperate for a change. They want to change. I don't know if that's going to happen. I hope it does. I mean, I hope whatever happens is best for the case, and we're gonna listen to it. We're gonna listen to it now. I'm not gonna share the screen or anything like that because I don't want to get a copyright Willie, just in case. I don't know if East Idaho lets you do. You know, I just not my thing. So let's go ahead and just take a listen, and we will discuss it on the other side. Well, we'll kind of break it down.
Dylan Rounds has been missing for nearly 3 months, and today his parents still have a lot of questions, not only about the whereabouts of their son, but also what's happening with the investigation. And joining me now in the studio, Candace Cooley. She is Dylan's mom, also Justin Rounds, Dylan's father. I think we spoke man, 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's crazy how fast time has gone. First of all, how are you guys doing?
Now, what you're going to hear in this is that they absolutely want Box Elder to recuse themselves from this investigation. Both of them, not just one, both.
We're holding up, pushing forward. Just keep them focused.
And what has that focus turned to going into month 3?
Getting a new lead, law enforcement lead agency in Dylan's case. That's where we feel we're at.
So let's set it up. Law enforcement, the lead agency has been the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office in Utah. Dylan disappeared. If you're just tuning into the story, he was living and farming out near the Utah-Nevada border and in Box Elder County, and they began investigating when he first disappeared. And frustrations have been building on your family's behalf over the past, well, kind of since the beginning. Am I right to say that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So walk me through what some of those frustrations have been.
So when we first got out there on May 28th, day one, everybody knows we find Dylan's boots. Justin and I go out and we look at them.
All right, I don't care about a copyright, Willie.
None of us had any doubt in our mind.
Bring it on.
They were thrown on the back of one of their side-by-sides, and the search just continued like nothing out of the ordinary. So as time went on, so search and rescue, they stayed the first night. They came back the next day at about 7 a.m. They searched until about 2:30, probably 3 o'clock. They were actually stationed on the property that Brenner was squatting on, and we were told we're going to move base to Lucin Pond because we're irritating Brenner. Now, part of what people need to know is
there echo? All right, hold on. That's it. I can fix it. Trust me, I can fix it.
Brenner had an arrest warrant at this time. Box Elder County knew this. He could have been arrested day one. I believe it would have been.
Is that better? Is that better? Let me know if it's better.
The 10th was the day I was in Elko. I believe it was June 10th. They finally arrested him on
Still
that
echoing.
warrant.
Son of a gun. This has been this has been going on since day one with golly. All right, hold on. It's not any better. Echo. Okay. All right.
Who have a violent criminal who we now know. So, he's got an attempted murder charge. He's got all this stuff. He's got a warrant. You have a missing 19-year-old. It's all within 100 yards of each other. And
How is it
you
now?
don't even think let's go ahead and execute this warrant because we can take this guy to jail right now.
James Brenner was squatting on property near where Dylan was.
Yeah.
And has an extensive criminal history, violent crimes. And you're saying when the cops first went in there, when you guys first reported Dylan missing, they should have done something with James Brenner.
Yes.
But they waited 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then even when they finally did, he was out the next day and they still never searched his property. So Dylan's boots are found the next day. Lucin Pond, they move out because they don't want to, annoy Brenner. They did not just move base. They just pulled out. They were done. I mean, 4 or 5 guys stuck around.
By the way, who cares if Brenner's agitated or not? He's a criminal and he's a suspect in this case.
That really helped.
A few of those guys came out a lot. And
there
did a
was
really good job.
There was some
with the search
that
and
were
rescue.
Great. So that was the day, Tuesday, that we got the phone call that Dylan was being held hostage in Montello. And so we all took off. Part of the Box Elder County Sheriffs and a few of the search and rescue guys were standing at the pond. We stopped to give them a flashlight battery back that they'd loaned us the night before told them what was going on, and I was told good luck with that.
Who told you that?
One of the sheriffs. I don't know which one it was, but those were the exact words I got, was good luck with that.
When you mentioned that your son was being held hostage,
yes,
the deputy said good luck with that.
And then Justin had to call him, and I'll let you tell him about your conversation with Blower.
Well, I just called and told him I was going to do something if they didn't show up, and had him give me his word that he would get a hold of Elko to get them to come. And then they said they'd come, and we waited. I gave them a little bit of time before I went into the house myself, and they ended up showing up. And
The house where you were.
Imagine your child going missing, or you can't hear from them, and then you hear from somebody saying, hey, your child is being held hostage, and you reach out to law enforcement and they say good luck with that. That's unacceptable under any circumstance ever. It is absolutely unacceptable. You can't. Why even become law enforcement if that's how you are going to talk to people, victims? It's just not right. It is not proper.
Told Dylan once.
Yeah.
So you called Box Elder and said, you better get out here, or I'm going to do something myself.
Right.
To make sure Elko comes.
Well, Box Elder did not ever end up coming, nor did they end up calling Elko. I called 911, and we got Elko out there. When Elko came out, they came out with 6 deputies, and they waited till they all got there because they weren't.
By the way, I hear a lot of channels and a lot of people really giving Candace especially a lot of crap. And I talk to Candace, every couple of weeks. We keep in touch. She's got her finger on the pulse, folks. I could tell you that right now. If you don't like the things that I don't know anything about her past, and I don't care about her past. I don't care about his past. I don't care about their divorce. I don't care about any of that stuff. She is pushing, and so is Justin. They are both pushing for answers. Okay. And I believe people are way, way, way off on this. I believe people, whether you have a personal relationship with her or not, whether or not you get along with her or not, her son's missing. Whatever their relationship was, I don't care. She gave birth to the young man, and her finger is on the pulse. So is Justin's. They care about their child. And I just wanted to say that.
Aware of the current situation. So I make a 911 call and say, our son, we found him. They have no clue who or what we were talking about because Box Elder never called.
So Dylan obviously wasn't in that house.
No.
So that was one frustration. And then there's been a few more.
Yeah. So moving forward, so now that Box Elder released it on NamUs, we all know, yes, the key fob did come back.
So let's talk about that. There was a key fob that originally was not in Dylan's truck when you guys searched it.
yes.
Correct. It wasn't anywhere. We couldn't get it in his pickup.
This was the key fob to his truck to get it
Correct.
started. So then it appeared.
Right. In his camp trailer.
How do you know the time frame?
When we were in Montello at the supposed Dylan's kidnapping.
So this is information that the family, you all have known since the beginning.
Correct.
Yes.
But law enforcement have asked you to hold it back.
Yes.
And this is common in a lot of cases where the family, the police know more than the public because they don't want to tip off whoever might be involved, what you all know. So you've been holding that secret as they've asked you to, but then suddenly a report comes out last week or the week before.
It actually came out July 28th.
Oh, so it's been out for nearly a month now.
It's been out for nearly a month before I knew what was, the 12th is when I emailed Box Elder and said, what the heck is going on?
And this was a report to a law enforcement agency?
So it was on NamUs. So on NamUs.
Let's see here. Right here, Chris says, hi, Rat. So glad Josh is covering this case. I had really stayed out of this the coverage of this case, but I kind of feel now that like it kind of needs something that's not sensationalized, a channel that has a decent relationship with the family, because it has been really just, I mean, they've really drug these people through the mud. And I'm kind of tired of staying out of that. I'm kind of tired of not advocating for people who are trying to get answers to find their children. And I think that they need people to support them and not try to tear them down during the worst time of their lives. During the worst time of their lives. And if any of us, any of you, if anybody was in this situation, I would hope these people are looking for their kid. This is not Dawn and Candace Wells. This is not them. Don't get it mixed up and don't get it twisted, because that's just not who they are.
Amos, there's two ways you can do it. You can log in as me and Justin could have a login and report a kid missing, and it has to be approved. Law enforcement can log in, and it can be made to where only other law enforcement agencies can view it. The detective that did it just put it out publicly.
So anyone that had a login to this web, or anyone period,
You don't even need a login.
could see on this report that about the key fob.
Correct.
The key fob was not there, and then it appeared.
Yeah.
Which was part of the investigation, but now it was public.
Okay, exactly. So this is our other frustration. So this happens on day number 3, Wednesday. Still, they don't even think, they don't treat anything suspicious. They don't start thinking, okay, something's not right. Like somebody's bringing this kid's stuff back now and he's missing. No, nothing. They just continued on their merry way.
Did you all think something was
Yes.
I thought something.
By the way, they have a message for YouTube, which is becoming a common theme in these cases, that the parents of the missing or the victims or whatever have they have a message for YouTube, and you'll hear it, and it's not a kind one. It's not a kind one.
What was wrong since the day we saw the boots, the minute we saw the boots?
Not that Dylan just ran away.
No.
Somebody else.
He never ran away. I knew that from the very beginning, before we even found the boots. I knew he wouldn't have just taken off.
And then when the key fob appears, you're saying
Yeah.
something isn't
Yeah,
right.
and so at this point, we're starting to get a little bit of information from the detectives. Not really much of anything, but they would separate us. So they would tell him something, and then they'd pull me aside and say, okay, now I'm going to tell you. They would not do it together, which we could not figure out, because then we were so frantic and exhausted and emotionally exhausted. Then we would get talking, and we would think we were confusing stuff because they wouldn't talk to us together.
Do you think they thought you were suspects?
It's a possibility. I'm sure everybody's suspect, you know what I mean?
But no interviews were conducted. Justin and I have never been interviewed.
This was just to pull you aside.
This
to
is
talk.
just to pull
This
you
wasn't a
aside.
formal interview.
No, we've never
it
been
wasn't
given a
that.
They've never been given a formal interview. Well, there goes your suspect. Wow. Never been interviewed?
formal interview. No, Dawn wasn't who's on the property. Brenner wasn't. None of the neighbors, none of nobody was formally interviewed.
And you would be open to doing a formal interview.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was open for anything.
Yeah. So that's when I was told. So then the one detective took me for a ride out to Dylan's camper in the SUV. And I was told, did you know it was blood on the boots and it is your son's? And I said, no, the boots were not even at the lab. He lied to me. He lied to me. Those boots did not go to the lab until June 6th. They stayed in the SUV. I was told that by Detective Blauer. Those exact words.
Jeez.
That was after he had talked to Justin, and then he took me for a drive. This is what we've been dealing with. This is why our first frustration started mounting when we started screaming, and that's when they brought in the FBI offered assistance, or they asked. I don't know how it happened. So then as this continues,
No wonder.
Weber County came out that
No wonder they want a new agency on the case.
Friday, which was great. They did an amazing search and rescue team. And then it was that next day, I asked one of the Box Elder sheriffs, I said, when do we call for a public search? When do we got all these people we're holding back that want to come help find Dylan? And he said, now would be a good time. So then that Saturday we held the search. We probably had 300 people. No help. No deputy assigned to us. The only deputy that was out there told me our son's case would resume on a Zoom meeting at 11 o'clock Monday, and I lost it on him. And so he ended up leaving. No help organizing, no help trying to keep people safe, no help on this is how you search, nothing.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine put a post on, he put a post on Facebook just asking people, if you're going out this weekend to ride your side-by-sides or whatever, just come up this way. And we didn't even know where to send people, what to do. And
you had no clue what we were doing.
We had a lot of people came. It was really awesome that people would come and do that. And we covered a lot of ground, but we were just blind.
Yeah. So they don't even know where to look. Okay. So that's a major issue. And you feel bad for them. It's a vast area. It's just barren wasteland with tweakers and, all kinds of problems. I've heard and talked to people about that area. It's terrible. Now the dad, Dylan's dad, who seems to be a man of very few words, and obviously he's not comfortable doing these kinds of interviews, and who could blame them, yet he does them anyway because he knows that it's important. They don't know what they're doing. And so here's the thing. And this may or may not, it could be the same in Summer's case as well. Local law enforcement, usually like these little tiny towns, don't deal a lot in missing person's case. Little towns don't always have this happen. People go missing in the, bigger cities. And then when that happens, they call in the state police or they call in the FBI. So they just don't really have the experience. It's not that they're inadequate. Maybe they're actually trying. Maybe that they are trying and they're just not capable. Maybe they just don't know. Look at the Kylie Rodney case. They called people who specialize in this kind of searching. And what they do, they came in and they threw their hands up. They said, look, you guys are the experts. Help us. What do we do? And then after it happens, then they're like, you know what? We are going to retrain our people for a situation like this in the future. It's a good thing. I hope that Box Elder has a case. I hope that Box Elder has more information than they're letting on, but it doesn't seem that way because they're not really keeping the parents in the loop, and they don't have to tell the parents the status of their investigation.
I'm leading the blind.
John experience organizing these huge searches.
Oh, yeah, no idea.
So you have written, is it a letter?
Okay, well, when they said good luck with that, I don't know individually who's responsible for what, but yeah, if they won't ask for help, that's a major problem. It's a major problem. What's wrong with asking for help?
Yeah, so it's a letter demanding and the reasons why. And
Mary says, yes, the families do get an advocate, and there is an advocate program out in Lucin, and Box Elder has those resources. I've looked it up, but nobody ever offered that to them.
And
they didn't even know about it.
Timeline, and I sent you a copy of that, and that's I finally had to stop because I could just keep going. There is so many places they dropped the ball on Dylan's case. I mean, They didn't even call it criminal until the 15th of June, and they had no more evidence than we had on day 3. They had the same amount of everything.
It was so frustrating at the beginning, and then I just kind of told myself I just got to have faith that they're doing what they're doing, and I've just kind of been hoping and praying that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, and I've kind of been dragging my feet on doing what she's wanting to do, but we haven't talked to them at all. I don't know anything that's going on. I don't know.
Yeah, how often does the sheriff's office communicate with you?
Never. So they've made it to where our FBI agent is.
Imagine a family member missing, lead law enforcement not talking to them.
Is our point of contact, and he's great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's straight up, but he's not lead. He's basically, I feel like, especially, he's basically just been sent in to talk to us. And I mean, and he, like I said, he has done an amazing job, and he is working with EquiSearch, but he's not lead. So if Box Elder can't even communicate with us as parents, that can't even give us the time of day to pick up a phone once a week, why are they even working his case? Because there's no point. This is absolutely ridiculous. We should not have to beg for everything in this case.
It's been that way since the very beginning.
And you just want, like you said, pick up the phone every week, even if there's no update, some sort of communication.
Something. And
it doesn't matter where we go and who we talk to. You hear anything new? And I mean, there's I haven't heard a thing. It's kind of frustrating. Anyway, it's very frustrating.
And your letter is calling for them to hand over the case to the state of Utah?
yes, and the FBI will assist the state of Utah.
And as far as you know, could that be possible if Box Elder decided to say,
Absolutely.
we're going to do this?
And I've left multiple messages for Blair Wardle. There's 2 attorneys, I believe, from what I've gathered from other people and other agencies I've talked to. They're the ones who have guided me into this direction. From what I understand, he's the one with the power that can say, okay, we're turning this over to the state. I've left multiple messages for his office, and I've also sent the email to their office. I sent that email a week ago today, and I have heard nothing. Radio silence, not a peep. So now you're calling them out. They know we're going to come public with this. They know, I mean, there's so much. I mean, there's hours of it to go through of what they've done to Dylan's case. Just turn it over. You had no interest in the beginning. Why are you hanging on to it?
Is there any reason in your mind why you think they might not be communicating with you? Why they might be holding all these things close to the vest?
I have no clue. I don't buy it's because they have all this stuff that they don't want to tell us.
I couldn't get a hold of my kid for a few hours, like a couple weeks ago, and I almost had an aneurysm. Imagine that every single day. I can see it.
Because they could tell us, hey, we got a lot, we're building on this, and we just can't tell you. That is an easy communication. I don't believe they even have that. And so it's almost like they're scared to communicate with us because everything went so wrong in the beginning on how they handled it. They probably lost a lot of what we could have had right there in the very beginning.
They did, no doubt.
I mean, you had hundreds and hundreds, of people all over that place before anything was ever processed, before anything was ever looked at, letting us take Dylan's pickup home. I still have the text message on my phone from the detective who I asked, can we take his pickup phone? And I was told, you folks do what you need to do, okay. And those are the exact words on my phone. Letting the grain truck go.
I didn't even know the grain truck had left.
Yeah, that was the first.
What do you mean letting the grain truck grow?
What happened? They never processed it. They let us take it home.
Bonneville County processed
Yeah.
it. In fact, we used it for harvest, and it's still got all the stickers of the measurements. And
yeah, but nothing was
stuff
processed there on the scene. Nothing.
Did an ISP also process the truck?
The pickup.
Yeah, ISP in Bonneville County came and did a lot. They did a lot that I don't know that they had to do, but they were
willing to help.
Elder would learn a little bit from them.
Do you know, did anything come back on the truck or the grain truck that you can say?
Not that no, nothing came back. It's not anything that we can't say, just Nothing came
Nothing
back. But
came back.
once again, it was so long before it was
And
processed.
that maybe they haven't told us.
Yeah.
The pickup's still gone.
So your one wish, your one hope now is get this to another agency
Yes.
that will communicate with you and will maybe get fresh eyes on the case.
Yeah, maybe a little more competent than
Yeah.
the way I
Well,
feel Box Elder is.
and just another example is that search warrant that Elko executed last Monday. I talked to Lieutenant Fisher. I knew that warrant was signed. It was at exactly 7:22 last Friday at night. Box Elder had sent over a warrant to get that property searched, and we'd been screaming about that property for a month and a half. Elko wouldn't execute Box Elders because it had no probable cause. It was a joke, and they would not go on that property and search without the proper warrants. So Elko worked on it, got their own warrant. So on Monday, it was an Elko warrant that they executed. It had nothing to do with Box Elder because Box Elder counties was a joke. And we were never told that they were declined a search warrant. We were never told any of this by Box Elder. They didn't say, hey, we're getting a search warrant to get to Elko to search this property. We had no clue.
I didn't even know they were searching it until I just got a bunch of messages from people and I looked on Facebook and saw that video. Other than that, I didn't have a clue.
And nothing was found in that search. There have been a few.
So they have a suspect in jail. There's a suspect in jail. Yet for some reason, they're treating these parents like they're suspects. I don't understand. I mean, is that what law enforcement is trying to convey here? Because they're sure making it seem like that. Which would be weird for suspects to be asking for the FBI and the state police to take over the case. That doesn't make any sense.
Messages we've gotten, I know you have too, from people that I want to ask you directly to hopefully clear it up. Was the grain truck searched for Dylan?
Yes, absolutely.
And nothing was found?
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Okay. We can put that one to rest. Are there any creeks, rivers, streams, any bodies of water nearby that he could possibly be in?
Just Lucin Pond, but it's been went through
It's
already.
been searched.
Yes.
They searched it inch by inch.
Yep.
A guy was down in there walking through the whole thing.
The other question I know we've talked on before is the two suspects that are in jail on unrelated charges. They haven't been charged in connection to Dylan's disappearance. What do we know about them and what's happening with them?
So Chase Venstra has never been called a suspect. He has not been named a suspect by law enforcement. We truly know nothing. I have asked, I can't tell you how many times, have you cleared him? Is he which is it? I don't know. They won't tell me anything.
But he's in there on gun charges.
He's in there on gun charges. Brenner, he is the official suspect. There is some more stuff we know about him that we can't release that's made him that suspect. But once again, it's all the stuff we had in the beginning.
Yeah.
It all started right there where Dylan parked his truck and Brenner was squatting everything we had in the first 3 days.
Have you requested a one-on-one meeting with the sheriff?
I don't even know how to get a hold of the sheriff. I mean, we got his email, but short of the one day I met with him and his wife, I've never spoken with him.
I've never once talked to him.
And that's the other thing. People keep saying, well, they should have a victim's advocate, right? I have no clue who that is in Box Elder. I didn't even know they had that stuff. I keep hearing people saying to me, well, what about the victim's advocate? Well, what about him? That's never been offered to us.
Wow. You don't know what you don't know. That's the problem.
And I don't even know what that person does. And frankly, if they're part of Box Elder County, I want nothing to do with them when it comes to Dylan's case.
Yeah, a lot of larger jurisdictions have these victim advocates that is your go-between, the liaison between the family. Even some smaller jurisdictions do. It's becoming more and more common. So you're saying just give us someone that can communicate with us.
Where the wind blows, they definitely have
and
said.
At this point, it's not the communication. That boat has sailed with Box Elder. It is turn it over to the state of Utah and let somebody handle Dylan's case who's going to treat it with the attention that it deserves. Box Elder County cannot redeem themselves. at this point with me. There is no way. There has been so much more than we can ever touch on in one interview. I absolutely have no faith in them as a department, as a whole department. I want nothing to do with them.
So when I ask you what's new with the case, you can say you don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. We can honestly say that. I mean, I know the stuff that our FBI agent's working on, and like you said, his communication is amazing, but he is not lead. And Box Elder County, obviously, it just fell into their laps. You know, I don't know if they just want to hang on to it to say we have it, but they're over their heads. They don't know. I mean, we get told we don't know how to pull text messages off a phone, or we don't know how to do that. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
I do know that 2 news agencies, at least in Utah, Fox 13 and ABC4, contacted the sheriff's office. Fox went to the sheriff's office hoping to get a comment about this last week, and they had no response. We'll, of course, reach out and let you know if they give us a response. In the past, it's been mainly email saying, there's been no updates.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what else do you want the public to know? What else does the public need to know about the case in general, about this specific?
Well, I know a lot of people think that Justin and I get a lot of, throwback, like, why don't you guys want people out there? Why don't you want people looking for Dylan? It's not that we don't want people looking for Dylan, but what little bit could be left out there, these YouTubers who say, oh, this is Dylan's farm, we're out here filming this, we're looking for Dylan. They are not looking for Dylan. They are looking for YouTube hits, and they could potentially destroy maybe that one little thing that was missed, that when we get a different agency to go out there could find.
We have cameras out there, and I'm thinking
think
about
we are.
pressing charges on people that are trespassing on the property.
We will
I've seen
absolutely. We're done.
some people from Montello. I have pictures of them, and I'm going to figure out a way to start pressing charges if they're coming on there. There's no reason for them to be there doing YouTube videos, and it's private property.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a speck of something that somebody steps on. That could be the smallest key. These people are ruining that, and it's infuriating. It's not because we would love to be out there every weekend tearing that desert apart, but we did that for over a month.
Yeah.
Dylan turned 20 a few weeks ago.
Yes.
I noticed you would ask people, those that are interested, to plant some seeds in his house. Obviously, he's a farmer. And you went to a few different places, didn't you? And spread seeds all over.
Yeah.
What was that day like?
Oh, it was quite the day.
Yeah.
When she came up with the idea, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, they'll never sprout in time. I was just, I don't know. Wasn't a whole 100% on board, but it's been a really neat experience. Yeah, it was pretty neat. I've never noticed so many sunflowers in my life as I have this year.
Yeah.
And the response from the people is just amazing.
Yeah. And that's, Dylan's got a whole world out there looking for him. So that's our focus. That's what we can do right now. We can't be on Dylan's farm disturbing stuff. We can't. So we're keeping awareness, and, we're never going to give up. We'll bring him home. So we need people to respect, the stuff that needs to be preserved.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, here's hoping that the case progresses and that you all can get some answers. And please keep us posted. I know you will. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And they deserve answers. It's their child. And it's not that they don't want people searching. They don't want people disturbing what could be a crime scene. They deserve answers. And if they are not being provided with some sort of advocate, if the sheriff isn't meeting with them, not only not once a week, not every 2 weeks, God, could you imagine just once a month, but never? They don't know how to get a hold of him. They haven't talked to his dad. Why not? What's the point? What exactly what is Box Elder holding on to this case for? They don't, and I don't know what precedent it sets when they say, hey, but look at the case of D. Warner. The sheriff finally turned that case over. They turned that case over to the Michigan State Police. I believe Michigan. And yeah, East Idaho News does such a fantastic job. Thank you so much. But I mean, why is it like this? It's like these parents are pulling teeth and they're begging, and they've been begging for some time. I remember when I interviewed Candace for the very first, or the first time, only time. I mean, I've talked to her several times. Before that, it was, can we even really get them to open an official investigation? That they weren't really interested, that maybe he was just a missing person, that, you know, because he's 19 or whatever, that, you know, they weren't taking it serious or whatever they were doing. But, you know, you have people that once again are blaming the parents. They're saying horrible things about him. You know what? Candace could be a very mean person for all I know. She's never been mean to me. I'm just saying that as an example. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. I'd be pissed off too if my son was missing and nobody was giving me answers and people were bugging me and you know, saying things about me. I'd be mad too. I'd absolutely be furious. She has a right to be angry. She has a right to be upset. She has a right to demand answers. And so does the father. And by the way, God bless them. Look at them working together. And I'm sure from everything that I've heard that most divorces aren't pleasant, and people divorce usually because they don't get along. I see nothing but love and care between those two, trying to advocate for their son, and God bless their significant others who are supporting their relationship to get answers. God bless them. That is an amazing, amazing thing. Coming together in the time of need, putting their issues to the side while everybody else wants to bring up their issues. Well, that's not really our problem. They want to find their son. I've seen nothing to indicate that they don't. You don't like her, you don't like him, who cares? Nobody's asking you to. Nobody asked you to be their buddy. And hopefully the FBI or the state police and the FBI are able to take over the investigation. God bless Box Elder if they just turn it over, because maybe they don't have the resources. But do you think for a second that Box Elder has the resources that they need to solve this case? Probably not. It's not really something that is done every single day. Josh, what do you think happened? I think that some tweaker did something with him that knows the area very well. What the motive is, I don't know if tweakers actually need motives. I don't know if tweakers need motives, but I don't know. But I don't know exactly, but I don't believe that the young man's alive. I don't. They don't. I mean, tweakers stick up people for, you know, shoes, piece of jerky. I don't know. I don't know if it's money. I don't know if it's, I don't know. Maybe Dylan told one of them, hey, uh, get off my property. I don't want you here. Get off my property. I don't want you here. You can't stay here. Drugs, alcohol. I don't know. I don't know what was going on out there. The only thing that we really know is that there is a suspect in the case who has a violent history. Josh, you should go full screen. All right, I'll do it. We know that this man has a violent history. And a 19-year-old boy to a older man who has a history of violence and criminal activity may be a soft target for somebody like the suspect. Now, obviously, the suspect is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But he, 19-year-old, maybe has some money, maybe doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he has gold bars under his bed. I don't know. Maybe the tweaker wanted some weed. I don't know. But I know a 19-year-old would seem like the kind of person that you would want to rob if you were that kind of person in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, you're right. Brenner does have a record from Maine to Nevada. I mean, he's a bad person. There, Chris says, that's a great point. Chris says the jailed suspect is one of many bad people out there. Absolutely. These people operate in the shadows. That's where this crime took place, in the shadows. It took place out in the middle of nowhere, in the shadows, and only came to light because now there is a 19-year-old, well, he turned 20-year-old boy missing, and they have officially named this man a suspect. And that's it. They're not in contact with the family. They're not talking to the family. But it sounds as though they may want a meeting now. Why would Box Elder want a meeting? I don't know. I mean, from everything that has been told, something that was up with that truck. It seemed like somebody else was driving it. Silence Lou says, I've used up all my exclamation points. Give me 1 second here, and then we can take some calls. Hold on. Oh, wait. Maybe. And 1.87. Oh no, that's the call-in line. Hold on, we'll take some calls here in a second. 81. Zero. Hold on. Okay, let me see here. The call-in number is 910 390 1587. I'll throw that up on the banner. To is 910 390. 1587. Okay, so there it is. In case anybody wants to call in, if they have any thoughts, obviously, let's keep it as respectful as possible. Don't mind listening to theories or anything like that. All that's fine. Not a big deal at all. Take a look here. But yeah, I really, really don't understand. You know what? Maybe I'm not connected. Hold on. Is my Bluetooth connected? Let me get the Roadcaster going. Let me see here. Boom, 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 boom. Give me 1 second, folks. Kind of new at this call in. We're gonna make it happen though. Let me see the settings. And all right. And so when you hear the beep, that means you're on. I believe, hopefully you can hear the show. And 973, you're on the air.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, how are you?
I'm from the one thing I was one thing. I'm from boring northern New Jersey.
Yeah, boring.
Don't let the TV make it so exciting. It's not just Hollywood, let me tell you.
Right.
I don't know. It's like I'm thinking you see adventures with purpose, and they're solving cases. They're able to find people in water. Sometimes you wish that there was something like that for the land, that they have a team like that has better skill sets or something that could really find these people, because it's just getting to be ridiculous how people just are vanishing and they can't find them, and there's no clues, and there's just something wrong. I'm just very frustrated, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand what I mean.
No, I do.
Like, I don't like, I like privacy, but then I want to chip my kid. You don't want to chip your kids to know where they are at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And, especially with the car, with this other case in California, with Selma, California, with this Jolisa Fuentes. And I'm just, frustrated that there has to be, in the 21st century, that we don't have the technology to find people
right
at this point.
Right.
And I don't know what to think about Dylan's case. I think that they need to turn this over to you, Todd. I saw a video today. I'm not going to say the creator, but there was the person that did a live call that he was calling the Box Elder County Sheriff and stating his wishes to have this turned over to the state, and just showing that he's doing that just to encourage other people to do the same, to to do a pressure campaign against them, because
Mhm.
it's not against them. It's just, I don't know. Is it against them? We're trying to be
What's the harm?
you
I mean,
know,
if
proactive to really.
they
I
have,
agree. I think we need to do it even right. Right. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say they don't have to tell the parents what they have, but they need to. Why can't they say, "Hey, we're working on it. We've got some stuff. We'll let you know." But they're not even doing that.
But I just think I just find that as a whole, these police departments are doing a terrible job all over the place. There's just something wrong with this whole country. I don't like where I live. I don't like how things are handled other places. The whole system needs to be smashed apart. There's just something wrong with the handling of these cases. Obviously, they can't handle it, and there's something wrong with the training. There has to be something done more with the people that are hired to do these cases
Mhm.
or work on the departments, and they have to be able to be well-rounded and to be able to handle different types of cases, just not like coming and knocking and arresting you. You know, they have to be really have some critical thinking skills. I don't know who they're hiring. Are they college educated? I don't know. I don't know what if they can't get anybody anymore because the way this country is going. You know, because people don't want to work. You know, the dumbing down of this whole society. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that the people, they have to get people that think outside the box too. You know, that really could do an investigation. And I really think that there needs to be more intensive courses for the police to learn how to do investigations. But maybe they're not getting people that are able to do that are inept. So
I agree.
My opinion.
So I agree with you. I agree with you on the fact that I don't think that they know how to do these kind of investigations because they don't happen that often in these small little towns. Maybe this, I don't know what's happened in this town before, but like if you look at the Summer Wells case.
But you know what my thing is, Josh? I just don't believe in these county systems. I don't think they should be acting like independent little governments. I think there needs to be some standardization in all of the counties. Every county deserves equal representation of law enforcement in investigations and solving cases when families are in need. Not one family that's in a big city that's going to get a really elite detective unit that's going to really solve the case. That's not fair to the other person in a smaller town that's not going to get the right thing. So, you know, it's just like with healthcare, any other service in our country, the people deserve the representation and the service that they pay their taxes for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not fair to people. I think it's wrong. And it's and I know that you picked that when you live in a small area, but I just think it's when you have a matter of life and death, I think it's something is unethical about it. So
I think that, you know, and that's what the FBI is supposed to be for, or, you know, the you know, the Utah I believe that there's a Utah bureau as well. And
of course,
but the problem is that the sheriff, they run the county. Okay. They run it. They are the most powerful people. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm saying that they're in charge. And until they reach out to the FBI or turn it over, they don't have to. And I would hope the reason that they're not, but I have no idea, is that they have a case that they're making. But if that is true, why can't they just gently, without revealing too much information to the parents or the family, why can't they say that, well, that we're working here, guys, promise you.
I know. It's just, I know. Tell me about it. Oh, well.
And that's the bummer about it.
That's all I have to say.
Well, I appreciate the call.
I agree. You take care now.
All right. Thank you so much. I mean, the caller's right. The caller's right. It should be equal everywhere. It should be equal everywhere. And I'm really hoping that the FBI or, uh, maybe the Utah Bureau or I'm just not sure. But that's how it works. So the sheriff's department has control, and they have to reach out to the FBI. The FBI is obviously federal. They don't. It's of local color. I mean, they can't just kick the door in and say, "Hey, get out of the way. Get out of the way. This is what we're gonna do." And let me see. We got a call coming from. Let's take a look here. 801 Utah, Salt Lake City. How's it going?
Pretty good. This is Lauren Dillon, and I spent 5 hours on Thursday night on a call with a confidential source, and they had Boxelder County come out to look at their stuff, and Boxelder just kind of groused at the fact that they were being asked to get out of their car and actually walk to take a look at something. And so that didn't really sit well with our source.
Were you the one
so,
that sent me the email?
I did, and I got an email from Chris late last night.
Okay, I was going to say it was forwarded.
Yeah. And so we haven't heard yet from the source to see how things went after he had a phone call with the FBI agent. We managed to get him hooked up with Candace, and we're hoping that they take this seriously. But if not, we're hoping maybe we might be able to get a little help with Chris behind the scenes. So
yeah.
So this guy,
your confidential source. I mean, obviously, I don't want you to reveal too much or anything really, but it sounded solid to you?
Yeah, he had GPS coordinates and been doing a lot of tracking, and it looked really solid to me, and it definitely needs to be investigated further. And
is Candace and Justin aware?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Awesome. We kind of got Marcus Ortiz to act as a liaison because I knew that he had a working relationship with her, and so he contacted her, and then he put the FBI agent in touch with the confidential source, and then he came back and talked to us after he got off with the FBI agent. So we're hoping that this promising lead will get investigated thoroughly.
Are you familiar with the area?
Yes, my family had land out around Park Valley, which is about 30 miles from Leeson, and we used to go camping out there all the time. And so, this case has always kind of held a special place in my interest because of the connection to the area. So I've been out in the area twice since this happened, and
is it a is there a lot of drugs that go on out there?
I didn't see as much evidence of it on the Utah side of the border, but the confidential source says if you go a little bit further east, you start getting into a lot of it again. So,
Without too much
Kind of hit and
speculation,
miss.
what do you think happened?
I think Jim Brenner did something to Dylan, and I think that he had help in getting rid of the body.
I do too. I do too.
And
I think they got the right guy in
I
jail. I
had-
think they need to tie it to him.
Yeah. Well, we've got one other person that a local mentioned to me last week when I was in the cowboy bar. He thought he would be the one that Brenner would turn to, and that he, in conjunction with Case Venstra and Robert Aviles, would be the ones disposing of the body. Now, I don't know. Yes.
Right.
It's so intriguing, and I'm just kind of going nuts, wanting to go out there and see what our source has seen, and it's just, yeah, I just want to go out there and look.
I understand. Well, I understand, and I do appreciate your email and you reaching out. You know, you obviously have a passion for this and want answers, just like the family. You know, it is amazing to me that that law enforcement is handling it. I am. You're not going to find somebody more pro law enforcement than me. You're just not. But when you're telling families good luck with that, and not having me, how many other missing persons cases are they working on out there?
None. I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. Yeah,
I do
right.
have a phone number. People want to call and make a complaint about how Box Elder County has been handling it. The State Attorney General's office is the agency that to take the report, and their phone number is 801-366-0260.
That's the Attorney General.
And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say that one more time, and mods, let's go ahead and put that in the chat if people want to call, and be courteous when you do it, be kind, but let them know, that is your right.
Well, that's what the State Attorney General's office is there for, is to handle complaints about
I agree.
agencies within the state. So it's 801
366
0260.
0260.
And there's an email address if you want to do it that way. It's UAG@agutah.gov.
You said UAG?
Yeah, UAG@agutah.gov.
AGUtah.gov.
Yeah.
.gov. All right, I threw that in there.
Okay.
I appreciate your phone call and your email. I'm gonna start covering this case a little bit more, just because I think that it's needed. I think that it's needed.
I think that
I talk to like I said, I stay in contact. I stay in contact with Candace, and they're desperate for help and voices. So let's do what we can. And I appreciate your call.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. Another great call. Just great calls left and right, man. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. And let me see here. That number is 910-390-1587. If you want to call in, taking calls. If you have any comments about the Dylan Rounds case, go ahead and call in, and we'll discuss it a little bit. So far, I mean, the 2 calls that we just got are fantastic people who care. Thank you, caller, for that. Josh, there's 95% good or great law enforcement. I agree. And like I said, you won't find anybody, and I mean anybody, more pro law enforcement than I am. When I need to call the cops, I call them. You know, if my house catches on fire, I'm calling the fire department. If somebody gets hurt, I'm calling the, first responders. First responders, I'm calling. Law enforcement, I'm calling. I'm calling. I respect it, but you got to do the job. Let's see here. Go ahead and take this call. 954 Hollywood, Florida. You're in the house.
Hi, Josh.
Hi.
I love your show. I love everything you do. I love Chris.
Thank you. I
have a question for you.
Okay.
I saw somebody today that I know has monkeypox. I didn't let him get close to me. You hear me? But they're going into someone's house that has small children and other people in the house. How do you think I should handle that?
They have monkeypox?
Yeah, his whole face covered in blisters.
And you know them personally? Are they?
I've seen him a lot of times. I've never seen him look like that. And he didn't. When I called him to say something to him, he didn't want to come close to me. But when he got like maybe 3 feet away, his whole face covered in blisters.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't be going near anybody, right? I don't even.
This is my thing. I know he didn't want to come close to me because he didn't want me to see him like that. But the other issue with that is that you're around other people. You're going into somebody's house that has a small child in there, and you have other people that might not be that intelligent. You understand?
Right.
Do I call the health department and give him his phone number? Because I have his phone number.
I would definitely call the health department and ask them what protocol is. I think that somebody would. I mean, if they're infected with monkeypox, which is insane, they probably should be quarantined.
But my thing is, see, this is my problem, Josh. I'm a person that cares so much about other people that I get myself in trouble sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
and I see something like that, and I'm like, what are you doing?
You don't want people near you that have infectious diseases. So yes, please call the health department.
Most definitely, I'm worried about the family in that house that he's going into. Like I told, when I was speaking to the person that's bringing him into the house, I said, he can't sit on nothing, can't be close to nobody. You can't, if he sneezes, coughs, or anything, that could pass it. I said, think about your grandbaby and your children and your wife that's in there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Wow.
You got mad at us. I'm going to call the health department.
Yeah,
That's
you do that. You should probably get on that right away. I appreciate you calling in. And thank you for the kind words as well.
I love you. I love everything you do. You keep everything classy. You speak facts. You don't embellish or add to anything. So I so greatly appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You have a blessed night, and I'm going to continue to watch.
You too. Thank you. Yeah, if you have an infectious disease of any kind, stay away from people. Monkeypox, chickenpox, pox, any kind of pox you don't want. I know that's a serious thing. And it is shocking, you know. It's shocking when people don't do the things, you know, to protect the others. I mean, man, sugar pox, all kinds of pox, you know. But thank you so much, smallpox. Yeah, wow, you know, not cool. Good for her. Call that health department. Call the health department. Get that person in trouble. Hot pox, it's any kind of pox. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. That poor lady. She had no idea what to do. That's terrifying. Terrifying. Cocoa Pops. No pox. Nothing. We don't want anything to do with any kind of pox. Man, I remember I had chicken pox when I was a kid twice, and the first time I had it was awful. Second time wasn't that bad. Now, you know, I don't know. I don't even know really what monkeypox are. I just know that it sounds terrifying. That it sounds like I don't want anybody near me that has any kind of pox, man. You're going around kids. That's terrible stuff. You don't do that. 910-390-1587. Fever with blisters. Yeah, I would imagine. Let's see, monkeypox. Never really I don't know if I want to. Jeez. I mean, that's horrible. No. Yeah. You're gonna want to call the health department. Oh. Undetermined. AT&T. Yeah, any kind of pox ain't cool, man. Not cool. It's amazing how careless some people really can be, though. I'll tell you that right now. That's not a cool thing to do. Let's see. (215), you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know if I got through or not.
You're through. Could you hear the show? Could you hear the show while you're on hold?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Cool. What can I do for you?
No, I can't hear it. I'm sorry. Well, I was just listening to your last caller, and I just tried to see if I could get through. I'm a little bit on your show, okay? My name is Debbie, and I'm in Mobile, Alabama. I just have a question for you. I've been wanting to ask somebody, and I don't know who to ask. I mean, I've been watching the Dylan Rand case, and I'm real concerned about all that. I really think he's been murdered. But my question is, I have a relative that passed away, and I had to go through his house. This has been years ago. And I found articles of a little girl that was murdered in 1949 in the same town he lived in. I know that's a long time ago. And the body was found. She was 9 years old, and her body was found a block from his home. Okay? Well, I checked into it, and that's where he lived, and I know for a fact he liked little girls because I was his granddaughter.
Mm.
And then, is there any way, would it be stupid of me to even try to even attempt to find out if that little girl's murderer was ever found?
No, I don't think it would be stupid at all. And if you have suspicions like that, I don't see what harm a phone call would make, or your story, because you obviously know.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously know this person, and you know.
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, you know, you have knowledge that, it is not stupid at all. And just because it was back in the 40s doesn't mean, I mean, that they're still investigating cases from 1912, I mean, it's just that the problem is the DNA.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't have anything. He died in 1976. And I don't have anything. And then he was married to my grandmother. My grandmother died 10 years ago. When we were cleaning out her house, he had this room that nobody was allowed in. And my mother wouldn't go in there, but I said, well, I'll go in there. I'm not scared. And I was a lot younger, too, and I wasn't disabled. And I went up there, and I found stuff. I had to come out of there. I found that article. I'm like, why would they keep an article from 1949?
What did the article say?
And then I read it. It said, it just told the little girl's name and where she was found. She was headed home from a movie. She disappeared. They found her body the next morning. It's this lake, and that lake is right by where he lived. I mean, like a block. And she had been sexually abused and then redressed and left by the lake. And I know for a fact, because I'm a girl, that he liked to do things like that. But luckily, I was smart enough to stay away from him. And then I had a little sister come along, and I kept her away from him. But even after I got married, my husband, I said, he'd come by our house, and I'm like, I won't let him in. If you're not home, he's not coming in. That's how afraid I was of him. But that's pretty much all I remember it saying. It said that nobody was, I'm sorry, I got multiple sclerosis and I lose my words.
It's okay. You're fine.
Nobody had been charged for her murder. And I got her name. I found her grave site and everything about her. Then I read about her.
First, let me say to you that I'm sorry for what you went through as a child. It is so rampant in our country, and even back then, it was even harder to speak up back then because nobody would really believe you.
Exactly. No, and like, I mean, I was probably 7, 8 years old, and we stayed with them. I live in Mobile, Alabama, out from Mobile, Alabama. And they lived in Birmingham. That's a long way, and 300 miles. And my mama, they came to Mobile, and they picked me and my brother up. I didn't have my little sister at the time, and carried us back home with them. And I ain't even going to go attempt to say what went on that night. And I was scared to death. And my brother was in the other room, and he was 4 years older than me. And he wasn't in the room with me, and I was scared. But then I tell my mama about it. And she's like, oh, this and that. Like, not taking up for him, but like she just didn't believe me,
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And it wasn't her daddy. I mean, it was my daddy's daddy.
Right.
But my daddy was nothing like that. My daddy was a perfect us. I mean, no complaints about my daddy. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
and I want to say, you know, how brave it is for you, and thank you for sharing your story, because it's not easy to do. You know, I have family members that have had those things happen to them, and it's devastating, and you never forget it. And I'm sure that this stays with you. And I think that it is very strange for him to keep that. And
well, kept that article, and then I found a box. He had a chest upstairs. He'd been in the service. He was just, I don't know, but he had like a chest upstairs, a little chest like you store stuff in, not like a closed chest. And I opened it up and I started finding things, and I found a box and I shook it, and I opened it up and it was teeth, and it was not adult teeth. It was like baby teeth.
Oh boy!
And I'm like, oh my God! And I threw it back in there and ran.
Do you still have those?
He had all kinds of knives. No. And the next morning, when I left, I was helping my mother, and I left and came home. And the next morning, I went back to help her again. I didn't work or anything at the time, and I went back to help her again. I said, "Where's that article I had?" She said, "What article?" I said, "Mama, the one I had yesterday. I showed you." She says, "I don't know." She said, "What'd you do with it?" I said, "I left it laying right here on this table," and it was gone.
Wow.
And nobody has been in the house, me and her. She got there back before me, but we were scared to death. Even they moved to Mobile. Let me get that straight. I'm sorry. They had moved to Mobile, so they didn't live too far. And all that other stuff happened in Birmingham, but they had moved back to Mobile after I got grown, and or moved to Mobile, and that's where we found the stuff. And she's like, Mom was like, "Well, I wouldn't say to nobody. Wouldn't nobody believe you? No way."
Right.
It's almost like she knew, but she didn't want to admit it, you know?
What was the cause of death for the young girl?
I think she had been smothered, if I remember correctly.
And she was assaulted as well. That was,
yeah.
And it was just an unsolved. It's just an unsolved murder that was around the corner from your grandfather's house, who had an interest in younger children. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I knew he did because of me, you know.
Right.
But
right.
I don't know. Like I said, I was smart enough to stay away from him and get away from him, and I knew something wasn't right. You know, I had a brother and a daddy, and I never seen nothing like that until he come along with it.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's
you know what I'm saying.
It's I absolutely do, and I understand. Man, yeah. Well, so somebody just took the box of stuff and it was gone. Wow.
We had it all put in the dumpster.
Do you do you have an email?
Yeah.
Can you email me? And you know, when you get off of here,
name.
What's that?
You want her name and stuff?
If you could just, you know,
the little girl's name.
Yeah, if you could just send me if you could, you know, send me some information on the article.
Okay.
I
can remember. I mean, you know, it's like I said, I got MS. I don't know if you know what that is. Multiple sclerosis.
I do. I absolutely do. My best friend's mother has it. Yes.
It's tough. It's tough.
It is. It is tough.
You want to say something? It's weird because I prayed. I said, Lord, I'm going to try to get through to him and just ask him this. If it's meant to happen, let me go through. And you answered. I like to fill out.
I'm so glad that I'm so glad that you called, and I'm so glad. That's what. Look, you know, it is an amazing thing, the connections that we make here, and you know, I am so happy that you felt comfortable enough to call and to confide this and ask my opinion on it. I'm very flattered by that, and I take that extremely serious, and I respect what you're trying to do here. So please send me an email. I would love to see what I can do to help you out.
Okay, I will.
Okay. And
Well, I
your
appreciate
and
it.
your
I
name
didn't
again?
want to
Your
take away
first name?
all that. My first name is Debbie.
Debbie, thank you so much for calling. I
Debbie.
appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Josh. I'll try to get that to you, okay?
Okay, that sounds awesome.
Might take me a little while.
No problem. Take your time.
Okay, I appreciate you.
And I'll get back to you as soon as I hear from you.
Okay, I appreciate it, Josh. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Bye, Debbie.
Okay, bye-bye.
You just never know, folks. You never know. She has a hard time with emails. Yeah. She'll get it. She'll get it. She'll get it to me. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's right. That's how God does things. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Debbie, I forgot the monkeypox, but that was Hollywood, Florida. Hopefully they can get some help as well. But I want to thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Tomorrow I'll be on with Chris McDonough. And yeah. You guys have a good night.
Blazing the steel. Bring the heat. Mixing non-stop. With the hottest DJ.
I'm your host, Joshua Diaz.
Non-stop.